This is Mark Belton, SuperTraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West. We're here at Slingshot World Headquarters. And I'm going to show you today my favorite thing to do post-workout. I get asked this question a lot. People are always like, hey man, what do I take before workout? What do I take after workout? Before the workout, that's another topic for another day, and I'll share with you guys what I like to do in those circumstances. Post-workout, it really depends, and I know everyone hates that question, but it depends on what I'm doing. It depends on what some of my goals are. But here today, I'm going to show you what I'm just currently doing. Sometimes that's the easiest way to show you. If I feel like I had a real burner out there in the gym and I feel like I really got after it and the workout was super effective, then I'm going to do the following. I'm going to employ the usage of some essential amino acids, and I'm going to employ the weaponizing of carbohydrates. Brand-wise, you know, pick your favorite brand. I'm not too crazy about any particulars, but this brand is from my boy Tony Huge, and this brand is from my boy Hani Rambad. I love to support those who have supported me, and so a lot of times you'll see me with products from friends. What I like to do is I already put a little bit of water in here, some cold water. When the water's cold, to me the post-workout shake tends to taste a little bit better. Where shall I start? Okay, I'll start here. I have snake juice. Snake juice I got off of Amazon. And snake juice is basically a mixture of salt and potassium. I'm just going to dump that in here. It has a very salty flavor to it, and it's also unflavored. And that's just to kind of replenish from a hydration standpoint. So I got that in there with some water already. Now I'm going to go 2 scoops of the EAAs. Now flavor-wise, there's so many options you can pick from. This one is like a tropical one. I would also say that it would be totally fine for you just to pick a whey protein shake that you enjoy. So you can go with a vanilla or chocolate or whatever flavor would match up well with the carbohydrate that you take. You can also go flavorless on the carbohydrate, and it will give whatever you're eating, it will like enhance the flavor of it, but won't change it too much. This one right here is a wild berry flavor. This one's a tropical flavor, so the two mix really well. This is a carbohydrate formula, and it has a mix of different types of carbohydrates in there. Along with the carbohydrates are some things in here. There's some things in here that are like glucose disposal agents that are supposed to assist with driving the sugar and the carbohydrate into the muscle. Whether it does or not, you know, I don't know. But that's kind of the science of it. I go 2 scoops on that when the workout's real tough. If the workout was a little lighter, a lot of times it's 1 scoop. This has 25 grams of carbohydrates, so I just dumped in 50 grams of carbs. I know, the guy who taught you about war on carbs is eating some carbohydrates. Another great thing that you can utilize is something called Berberine. And this is from kind of a fancy schmancy company, but you can buy it from any company that you like. Berberine, this is really effective. A lot of people that are diabetic utilize Berberine to help kind of drive down some blood glucose levels. So now I'm going to dump some more water in here. You may even want to add ice. This is all about, you know, kind of your preference. This is simple to do. I just have this stuff. This stuff is already at my gym. I already have it. It's in my office, and I just take the two and I mix the two. If I didn't have access to having it like in a office, I would do what I used to do. When I was young, I would, before I left the house, I would go 2 scoops, boom, dump them in here and have just the powder in there. And then when I was done with the workout, I'd find some sort of water, buy water from a gas station or the water that I brought with me from home or whatever, and I'd utilize that and I'd get to shaking. So make sure that's locked in there pretty good. And here we go. Give it a couple shakes. Now, what is this doing for me, right? Why are we doing this? Well, post-workout, it's a good idea to try to replenish and try to recover from any damage that you may have done during the workout. The sodium and potassium has a little bit of a fizz to it, so it just went everywhere. We want to recover from these workouts as quickly as we can. We want to kind of like cleanse ourselves of the workout. We want to get a great stimulus, and we want to recover from that stimulus as quickly as we can. It has been shown many times over that when you implement some carbohydrates post-workout, whatever muscle group that you worked, those carbohydrates literally get shuttled into the muscles that you worked for the day. So I worked legs, these carbs are going to go into my legs. And if there's excess calories, then perhaps some of it can end up, I guess, as body fat. But I'm usually pretty careful with the way that I eat, so I don't think that that's a huge concern. This brings up some interesting stuff. If you're looking to try to like build muscle mass and get leaner at the same time, which kind of seems like everyone's goal, a lot of people are trying to drop fat and gain muscle mass. The best way to do it is to not be fancy and to be consistent. And so if we go with the science and we start to follow that, then you'd have to say, okay, well, if the best way to recover from a workout is to get some aminos or some whey protein and have some carbohydrates with that to shuttle it into the muscles, well then, regardless of whether I'm trying to burn fat and or be big, I should probably still be doing that anyway. Because the more muscle mass that we have, the easier it is to maintain our level of fitness and the easier it is to get to our goals. Who doesn't want to be stronger? Who doesn't want to have a little more muscle mass? And I'm not talking about, this kind of stuff's not going to like bulk you up. Like if you're a girl and you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know about all this. You're not going to get bulky. You're not going to get swelled up from it. That takes years and years and years of training, and that takes a long time, and it also takes a surplus of calories. So if your calories in check and you know how to diet and you've been following along with the stuff that's on this YouTube channel, then you already know the game. You already know the score. You already know how to do it. Now, what I would say is that if you're somebody that is looking to continue to burn fat and you are 15% or higher in terms of your body fat levels, it might be good to wait on adding in the additional carbohydrates post-workout, only because you may want to try to mainly just use the essential amino acids and or just utilize some whey protein post-workout. That way we're not really getting a whole lot of extra calories in there. So that's just a suggestion for somebody that's looking to lose body fat. But when I started, my mission from coming down from 330 pounds to what I am today at 230 pounds, the mission started with a paleo style diet. I cut way back on carbohydrates. I also started to eat more lean meats, and I had a little bit of vegetables in there and a little bit of fruit occasionally. Post-workout, once I got used to the diet after a couple of weeks, and once I got used to kind of switching my body into kind of running off of dietary fat and body fat a little bit more, I brought the carbohydrates back in again and utilized those post-workout. So I've been doing this for many, many years. I do it on and off. I like to use stuff like this as a weapon. I like to bring it in, like when I want to get big and I want to, try to hold extra muscle mass, then I'll do this. Now, one thing I would suggest here as well, when you do these carbohydrates, you're actually going to feel these. So if you don't have an opportunity to eat within about 2 hours after this meal, then I would only stick with the amino acids, because this is a little bit of a roller coaster ride with how you're going to feel, because it's going to spike your insulin levels. It's going to hit you. At least it does with me, maybe because I don't eat that many carbohydrates, but I do feel that. So again, if you don't have access to having an opportunity to eat another meal within an hour or two of this, which I do recommend, I do think that you kind of need that. I think getting real food in is the most important thing. This is supplemental, and I want you to remember that. I'm not trying to hawk anything to you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. This is just techniques that I've utilized over the years that have been really helpful to me. Hopefully they help you guys out. So this is what I would do post-workout, and then the post-workout meal would look like, some chicken or some steak, maybe some rice, maybe a little bit of veggies, kind of depending on what the goal is, depending on what I'm going to do. It also depends on when I'm going to go to sleep. A lot of times, depending on how many other carbohydrates I had throughout the day, that will determine what my dinner looks like. Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you all later. Hello?